Hello my beautiful, lovely planty friends. My name is Christina and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to do a repotting of my Hoya Macrophylla. She's a gorgeous beauty right here. Look at those leaves. I've been obsessed with this plant since I laid my eyes on it, okay, when I got into plants a year ago. So this was my little wish plant that I got a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to repot it today because I don't think it's doing very good. So they typically say when you get a new plant, you don't want to stress it out more by automatically moving it out of its little home that it's in. You want to give it a couple weeks before you actually go ahead and repot it, you know, or anything else that you want to do with it. Now, my concern with this plant is, unfortunately, this little beauty right here came to me half frozen. I did pay for extra warming packet to come with this to keep it warm, but either it didn't work or something happened. So it came to me pretty cold, being that out here where I live it is still quite cold here, even though it's spring. So luckily it hasn't lost any leaves, so that's a good thing. But the soil has been soggy wet for the last 2 weeks since I've got it. So that's not a good sign to me because Hoyas like to dry out completely, okay? They do not like to have their feet wet all the time. Like for example, begonia or caletheia, those typically like to be or a little bit on our more wetter side, but no plant likes to have their feet constantly wet all the time. Especially with Hoyas, they are in the category mostly of succulents, because of the very succulent type leaves. So they store a lot of their water in these leaves. So they don't require a lot of watering. So today I wanted to repot her, and I'm going to show you the soil that I'm going to be using today. This is the soil that I typically use for all my plants. Let me see if I can drop you guys down here. There we go. So this is the mixture that I use. So this is a mixture of regular potting mix, indoor potting mix. I do add a bit of orchid bark in here. I do add a bit of cacti mix for faster, doesn't hold water for a very long time. And then a bit of perlite as well for extra airiness and drainage. So let's take a look at these roots here in this little beauty. I'm gonna put her back in her nursery pot. I don't see any roots coming out here at the bottom, so she does not need to be repotted anytime soon. I mean, typically their roots are quite sensitive and delicate. I'm just gonna make some room here. I am short on space. So let's see if I can do it this way here for you guys. And let's take a look at her. Okay. So the roots are really good. Like I said, does not need to be repotted. But I do say that the roots are in good condition, so that's a good sign. But I just want to put her something in a little bit more airier, give her a little bit more room to breathe. I'm not going to mess with the roots too much. They are quite delicate when it comes to those things. So I'm just going to gently move the soil around. Try to get some in between here. Hopefully you guys can see. Very nice, very good cuttings. My only concern here is this clearly has been stressed, because if you can't see these little stems here, I typically shoot them out, and then eventually they'll get some leaves growing out here. Sometimes these things can go crazy wild all over the place, but if you can't see here, they are unfortunately supposed to be a green color, dark color, and they are turning more of a yellow on both of them. So I'm gonna try to cut that. Hopefully that won't be too bad on the plant. But the leaves look okay. The leaves look healthy. They are very soft, which is typically for me a sign when the plant, or typically a sign when the Hoya needs to be watered. But oh, it looks like my grow lights have just turned off. Sorry about that, you guys. But in this case, like I said, she's been here for quite a while. So we're just gonna remove that as best as I can and get her into some new fresh soil. Very nice cuttings here. Okay. I'm not gonna get rid of all the dirt. Like I said, I don't want to mess with the roots. The root system is very, very sensitive, very delicate. So we definitely don't want to mess with that too much. I am working with a little bit of space, not a lot, but I manage. Manage the best way I can. All right, so we're gonna fill this up. Bottom here with some dirt, and then we're gonna fit her in, see how she looks. Make sure all the roots are covered when you pot her, or any plant. Like I said, we don't want to disturb the roots too much, because they won't like that. Okay, she looks to be sitting pretty good in here. Look, I just can't get over how beautiful she is. Oh my goodness. She better grow. Okay. Alrighty, I'm gonna just gently put her down here, and we're gonna fill in the corners. Press it down a little bit. Make sure the dirt settles, but we don't want to make it too compressed in there. Like I said, you want the roots to breathe. Everybody has their own techniques on things and how they want to pot things up and what soils they want to use. I always say, you know what, it's going to be a trial and error kind of thing. You're going to figure out what works for you, and it depends if you use terracotta, it depends if you use plastic or ceramic, because like with the clay pots, they wick away moisture because they hold a lot of that moisture in their pot itself, so it will dry out quicker. So it just depends. I've tried terracotta, not a big fan of it, just because I have to constantly be watering the plants, and like, don't get me wrong, I find it very, very therapeutic to do those things, to take care of plants. They definitely have taught me a lot as far as patience, and as far as just learning and understanding. I mean, these little guys are survivors. They really are. I mean, you take them out of their complete area of where they live, you know, in a tropical forest or anywhere else, and you bring them here, you bring them to your house that, you know, some places like here, I have 4 different seasons throughout the year, you know, and they like to be more on the hot side. They like to be more on the warm and the humid. But, I mean, we alter their environment in our home as best as we can, obviously. It still just amazes me how resilient these plants can be and adaptable they can be if you give them the chance to grow with you and learn with you. So I think that's pretty cool. All right, so we are done here now. This is what she looks like. So I patted down the soil, just pressed it down a bit so it settles. Once you water it, it will settle a little bit more. But like I said, you don't want to pack it in too much in there. And I think she'll be a lot happier in here. The last step that I'm just going to do is I'm just going to water her very lightly, just to get those roots kind of infused together with the soil. I'm not going to drench it, and then keep an eye on her and see how she does. So that is going to be it for today. Thank you guys so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.